Am I reading this right? Am I reading this correct?
Hello there.
Hello there indeed, my beautiful friends, and here we go. EA Entertainment President of EA, Laura Miele, just talked about how Star Wars Jedi 3, an undisclosed title, I should say, because it's Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor, and, you know, you can leave in the comments what do you think the third one will be called, but this video, I'm dedicating it to the Battlefront fans out there because this is the biggest hint we have gotten about Battlefront 3 we might get in the future. So, Anakin, you know what to do.
This is where the fun begins.
This is indeed where the fun begins. Let's go immediately to see what she said. So she talked to Variety. The president of EA talked about Battlefield 6, which was their priority. And as I said, now that Battlefield 6 will be out, they have their slate open, baby. So now we're waiting for something juicy. This is why they might have the time to actually do a Battlefront 3 that they can deliver perhaps in about 2 years. But with trailers interspersed in between, that's all we ask at the end of the day. So she talked about Battlefield 6, she talked about The Sims and all that, but here is what we're interested in. According to Miele, EA's current slate tied to Disney and Marvel IP includes the upcoming Star Wars Jedi 3 game from developer Respawn, large-scale mobile title in Galaxy of Heroes, The Old Republic. I don't think Zero Company is mentioned in here, but that will release too. And get this, a few others that haven't been announced yet. She also went on to say, I think we're striking a right balance of investing in these big online communities with EA brands and EA IPs, meaning, of course, the Disney IP. So, okay, let's just dissect this just for a little bit. She just went on to mention 3 Star Wars games that they are actively trying to invest in, trying to create, while sneakingly not talking about what the fans really want, and this is the clear signal about Battlefront 3. I'm going to show you how these guys think. So instead of going out there, she has already been briefed about Battlefront 3, about how the fans have completely revitalized that dead game now, which should be a dead game, and it's not. It's back from the dead. They have briefed her, so Laura Miele knows exactly what the Star Wars fans want. They want a Battlefront game. However, what she can't do is come in this interview and actually say it without concrete proof. This is when turmoil begins, so they need to be sure. So what can she say? She can give you the biggest signal ever by only mentioning Star Wars games. So she said Star Wars Jedi 3 and Galaxy of Heroes, Old Republic. She's mentioning everything but what we want, but clearly signaling that we are heavily invested in this Disney IP and Star Wars. She could have rattled off Marvel games too, but she only mentioned an unannounced Iron Man game just offhand at the end there, and then she said a few others that haven't been announced yet. So these few others, one of them is gonna be Battlefront 3, hopefully. I am 99% convinced this is just a bonehead move if they talk about all these games and not Battlefront 3. She and the team are not sure yet if they can actually come out and say it. They need to prepare first, then they will give an announcement. Perhaps next year when they have these fake E3 conferences that they announce everything. When and if EA comes out, I think they will definitely talk about Star Wars Jedi 3, which they're actively working on, as she said, with Respawn, but also there's gonna be a Battlefront 3 teaser in there. And a release date, I suspect 27, 28 could be a release date that we can realistically expect. Now let's talk about what you missed on these couple of months with Battlefront 3. You have ex-dev just comment both on Reddit and other places. Let's start with the first one. This one from an ex-Battlefront dev. He says, "Hear me out, no Battlefront 3 right now, but Battlefront 2 remaster for whatever future console is arriving in 27 or 28. So yeah, this means, of course, for PlayStation 6 or whatever the future Xbox will be. He continues saying dev time is around 2 to 3 years, so it coincides by 27-28 there will be a Battlefront 2 remaster. There is a laundry list of improvements that this game could get in my opinion, and getting it updated was always on our wish list." So this ex-Battlefront dev at EA and DICE just told you that yes, we need to improve the game even further. The good part is only coming. He says, Once that is a success, then we start work on Battlefront 3. You have a team familiar with the engine, with the assets, and really could kick off developing a Battlefront 3 within a much shorter time span and working on feedback from a fresh Battlefront 2 audience base. This could be a 5 to 6 year plan, but it's far more likely to be a success. This guy clearly showing off his muscles as a dev because he just hit it right on the head. This is perfect planning. If you want Battlefront 3, we need a Battlefront 2 remaster first, or an anniversary edition. I mean, it was released in 2017, so by 2027 you can have a 10-year anniversary edition, which is remastered. Battlefront 2 is back, and right from there, picking up, they will go on to give us, by 2030 or 2031, you could give us Battlefront 3. So I think this is a phenomenal job and a really great plan in my opinion. Here we go, another comment. A guy asked what Battlefront 2 dev said that they'd come back. And this guy again, former live producer of Star Wars Battlefront 2, says, me and having heard around my group of ex-colleagues, we want to get the gang back together. So here you have it, folks, from an ex-dev, from a former live producer of Star Wars Battlefront 2 himself. The fans have made a difference. Us going back to Star Wars Battlefront 2, picking up these numbers, showing EA, showing Lucasfilm that we are still here. Even though you don't support us anymore, we are still here and are going to continue to grind. They want to make those bucks. We want a great Battlefront game. It's literally the meme, shut up and take my money, but they won't take our money. This is the weirdest situation in gaming. And as I said, we're going to go down in the history books, baby. So Guile, one of the artists on Instagram who does fantastic work, he did this poster for Battlefront 3, with various, of course, characters that weren't in Battlefront 2. He not only made this, but went on to tag EA Star Wars in this, and it got a lot of traction, thousands and thousands of likes. And of course, as we discussed in the beginning, Janina Gavankar, who played Item Versio herself in Star Wars Battlefront 2, just posted on her IG stories, Star Wars Battlefront 2 broke its all-time concurrent player count on Steam today. The game is 8 years old and has not been updated for the past 5 years. She ends the caption by saying, good things live on. And that is very true, my friend. So it has reached even the actress of the main character of Battlefront 2, and she's very well informed too. So I don't know. I don't know. I think this is pretty much inevitable right now. I think that Lucasfilm Games and EA have to come together again for a conversation. I don't know what's the relationship right now, because Lucasfilm Games clearly moved on and they went on to make, of course, Star Wars Outlaws with Ubisoft, and Respawn, Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor with Respawn. But yeah, they've had a close-knit relationship with Battlefront 1 and 2, so you know, perhaps there could be room for negotiation in there. It's just that EA is such a greedy company that I'm afraid for that specifically, because the last time they wanted an exclusive 10-year deal and they got it, and I kind of botched both Battlefront 1 and 2. This is my only... this is the only thing I'm scared of, that Lucasfilm Games will try to do something with EA, but EA is just greedy to the point where they want to milk everything. And there has to be a clause in there. If they actually do a contract for Battlefront 3, there's gotta be a clause to not put pay-to-win microtransactions. That's all the fans are asking. You can put microtransactions, you can put, for example, cosmetic things like Fortnite, where you can get a skin of Darth Maul. Like Darth Maul, for example, has many skins. He has a Clone Wars skin, he has a Phantom Menace skin, he even has a post-Imperial skin as an older Maul with sleeveless Maul. You've got so much that you can unlock them by maybe buying them, putting them behind a paywall. The cosmetic things are not that bad, and what's even more interesting is that you can actually sell these things as bragging rights. This is how Fortnite actually made its riches. If you got a skin before everybody else, you got to have bragging rights. And guess what? If you went into Battlefront 2, immediately bought everything and just were the best player, you didn't get bragging rights, you got made fun of because you paid to win. Talent is what's required, not money. So this is my thinking.